Good morning, everybody. This is Todd with our daily video. Hope you're having a great week, and hopefully you've been able to take advantage of some of the movements that we've seen happening in the markets over the last little while. We do have a lot going on here with non-farm payroll coming out today. In fact, the markets opened quite a bit lower because of that. There were some disappointments in the job numbers. For example, the employment changes were supposed to add 151,000 jobs this last month. The actual number was only 69,000. So it was positive, but that positive number was half of what it was in as expected, or to be expected. Now, what we've seen happening is in February, can't even say it. The number was 243,000. In March, it was 227. April, 120. May, 115. And now 69. So for the last 5 reports, this jobless number has been dropping. And obviously, in order to see positive things happening in the market, we really want to be able to see those numbers moving in a positive upward direction. The other thing that came out was the unemployment rate, which after dropping the last few months here, we've seen it actually pop back up again. So it went from an 8.1 last month back up to an 8.2%. So not such great things, and we're seeing the markets react accordingly. Now, the other things that are going on, we definitely have to keep consideration on what's happening in Europe, the Eurozone. All of that stuff is really kind of all a mess, and so we need to be careful as we trade and make sure that we're using good, solid risk parameters. And that is something that if you do, you're going to be able to protect yourself to some degree, at least minimize those risks that are associated there. Now, looking at Europe overnight in regards to its market, we had the FTSE down 1.3, the DAX down 3.7 or 3.47%. So we had some pretty big sell-off in European shares. Asia was down. China was up just slightly, basically flat. Gold was up 22 to 15.86, and oil down about $3 down to 83.55. So we're continuing to see that oil drop down. Now, what I want to talk a little bit about here today is stop losses with the initial stop. And basically, the rule is, and hopefully you've got this down, is that if we get in long, we're going to put it below the most recent low, or if we're getting in short, we're going to be putting it below the most, or above the most recent high. So below the low or above the high on a bullish or a bearish entry. So what does that mean? Let's take a look here at our chart. And I'm just going to, and again, it doesn't matter what this chart is, the concept is going to be the same. For example, if we were to be looking at, let's say that we decided that this was a good short because it went below the lowest low of the last 3 and is starting to move down. So where would we place our stop loss? And the answer would be above the most recent high. Well, where's the most recent high? Is it all the way back here? we probably would agree that that's a little bit out of the range for where we'd want to be. But we had this little swing high where it moved up, came down, so our stop loss would want to be just up above that high there. Now, when we look at this, we want to take into consideration that we have a high here right around 98.97. We have some pretty good support. We have some support back here. We have some support here, here. Resistance, resistance. And so as we look at that, we don't want to put it right on that point of 98.7 or 98.97. We probably want to go just up above that a little bit, just in order to give it a little bit of room, because we know that this area of support or resistance is not an exact area. It's really an exact point. It's really more an area where we'll see that being held. So keep that in mind. We don't necessarily want to go right to the exact high point. We want to go to the prior high, most recent high, and then go a little bit above that. We can also check back at other areas to make sure that we're in a reasonable area. Now, let's say that we got in down here as it moved below the low slow of the last three. Well, we don't really have a lot of support or resistance here, so we're just going to go a little bit above our most recent swing high there. And what that does is that keeps us in a place where if it does start to move up and go up above that, we know that that's our exit point, because that's where it's not doing what we anticipated or what we want it to do. So practice with that. Make sure that you're putting your stops in the right place. Make sure you give it enough room to be satisfied with what's happening with it. And if you can do that, you will be better off by a long shot by putting those in at the appropriate places. So if you have questions about that or anything else, feel free to let me know. If not, it's Friday. Have a great rest of the day trading. Be careful as the markets look like they're going to sell off here, and get ready for the weekend. So until Monday, everybody have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.